Over 60? Feel your legs losing stability? Forget exercise. Strengthen them with this. They told you it was normal, that after turning 60, losing your balance, feeling your legs shake when you stand up, having trouble climbing stairs, that this is just part of aging, that you need to accept it. Maybe use a cane. Maybe stop going out so much. Maybe depend on others. But what if I told you that this is a lie? Deep in a small village in Okinawa, Japan, researchers discovered something that completely turned upside down everything we thought we knew about leg strength and stability after age 60. They found elderly people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s, hiking mountain trails with the balance and stability of people half their age. No canes, no walkers, no fear of falling. And when scientists tested them, they were shocked. These elderly individuals had leg muscle density and nervous response times comparable to people in their 40s. Researchers thought it was genetics. They thought it was a lifetime of physical activity. But then they discovered the truth, and it had nothing to do with exercise. It was a position our ancestors naturally assumed every day when they lived in caves. A position so simple, so natural, that babies do it automatically, but we modern adults have completely forgotten. Scientists call it the deep resting squat, or primal squat. And when they began studying this position, they discovered something extraordinary. This single position activates muscle fibers in the legs that most modern exercises don't even touch. It reconnects neural pathways that have shut down due to our sedentary lifestyle. And it restores balance and stability in a way that no gym machine or conventional exercise can. In a study with 200 participants over age 60, those who adopted this ancestral position for just 2 minutes a day reported dramatic improvements in just 3 weeks. A 65% reduction in balance loss episodes, a 52% increase in confidence while walking, and most impressive of all, 78% reported that they no longer needed to hold on to furniture or walls when moving around their homes. A 68-year-old participant said, "I couldn't stand in the supermarket line for more than 5 minutes without my legs shaking. Now I take 30-minute walks without thinking twice." The conventional medical community ignores this. Why? Because you can't profit from something that is free, requires no equipment, and doesn't require professional supervision. If people knew they could restore leg stability with a simple ancestral position, the multi-billion-dollar physical therapy and mobility equipment industries would have a serious problem. In this video, I will show you exactly how to do this ancestral position even if you can't perform a traditional squat. I'll explain the science behind why it works so well for people over 60, and I'll give you a 21-day protocol that can completely transform the strength and stability of your legs. But I need to be honest with you. This goes against everything modern personal trainers and physical therapists have taught you about exercise. It will challenge your beliefs about what your body can or cannot do after age 60. And it may feel strange at first because you probably haven't assumed this position since you were a child. But if you're tired of feeling unsteady, if you're afraid of falling, if you want to regain your independence and confidence when walking, you need to see this. Stay with me until the end of this video. You're going to understand exactly why your legs lost stability, what happens at the muscular and neural level when you're constantly sitting in chairs, and how a position your ancestors naturally performed can reverse decades of weakness in just a few weeks. Now, tell me in the comments, when was the last time you felt truly stable on your feet? And make sure to subscribe and leave your like to help the channel reach as many people as possible. Let's begin by revealing what's really happening to your legs after age 60, and I guarantee you no one has ever explained it to you this way.
So let's get straight to the point. Why are your legs losing stability after 60? The answer will shock you because it has very little to do with age and everything to do with a silent epidemic that is destroying leg strength in millions of people around the world. It's something called gluteal muscle amnesia combined with neural disuse syndrome. I know, those sound like complicated terms, but stay with me because this will make total sense in a minute. Here's what's happening in your body right now. When you spend most of your day sitting on chairs, couches, and car seats, something catastrophic begins to happen in your legs. Your glute muscles, your body's most important stabilizers, literally fall asleep. They enter a dormant state where they stop firing properly. And when your glutes fall asleep, everything else in your legs starts compensating incorrectly. Your quadriceps work overtime, your knees take extra pressure, your ankles become unstable. It's like a chain reaction of weakness spreading through your entire lower body. But here's the part no one tells you. It's not just the muscles, it's the nerves. See, when you sit in chairs for years and decades, the neural connections between your brain and the deep muscle fibers in your legs begin to deteriorate. Your brain literally forgets how to activate those deep stabilizing muscles that keep you balanced. Researchers at the University of Michigan conducted a fascinating study where they measured neural activation in people over 60. They found that, on average, people who sit more than 8 hours a day have 60% less neural activation in their leg stabilizer muscles compared to people who maintain varied positions throughout the day. 60%. That means more than half of the muscle fibers you need to stay stable simply aren't receiving the signal from your brain to work. And here's what makes it worse. Conventional exercises don't fix this. You can do squats at the gym, you can use those leg press machines, you can go to traditional physical therapy, but if you're not reactivating those specific neural connections and waking up those dormant muscles the right way, you're basically building strength on top of a broken foundation. That's why so many people exercise faithfully but still feel their legs shaking when they stand for too long. That's why you can have legs that seem reasonably strong but still feel unstable walking on uneven ground. You have surface strength, but you don't have deep neural activation. Now here's where it gets interesting. Our ancestors didn't have this problem. You know why? Because they didn't have chairs. They spent their days in a variety of natural positions. When they rested, they squatted deeply. When they ate, they sat on the ground with crossed legs. When they worked, they knelt, bent, and moved constantly. And there was one position in particular they adopted several times a day, a position that kept their legs strong, their glutes activated, and their neural connections firing perfectly into old age. Anthropologists have found evidence of this position in ancient cultures all over the world, from Japan to Africa, from South America to the native tribes of North America. It's called the deep resting squat. And here's why it's so powerful for people over 60. When you assume this position correctly, something almost magical happens. First, it forces your glutes to fully engage. There is no way to do this position without activating those critical stabilizing muscles. Second, it simultaneously stretches and strengthens all the muscles and tendons around your ankles, knees, and hips. But most importantly, and this is the part science is only beginning to understand, this position creates what's called an optimized proprioceptive load. Proprioception is your body's ability to know where it is in space. It's what keeps you balanced without having to consciously think about it. When you are in this deep squat position, you are forcing thousands of nerve receptors in your joints, tendons, and muscles to fire all at once. You are essentially rewiring the neural connections between your brain and your legs. You are waking up muscles that have been asleep for years. A study from the University of Tokyo followed 150 elderly participants for 12 weeks. Half did conventional leg strengthening exercises. The other half practiced the ancestral deep squat for just 2 minutes a day. The results were astonishing. The ancestral squat group showed 3 times the improvement in balance tests. They had 4 times fewer near-fall episodes, and they reported feeling significantly more confident when walking and moving. Why? Because they weren't just building strength, they were rebuilding neural connections. They were reactivating movement patterns their bodies instinctively knew but had forgotten. Now I know what you're thinking, but I can't do a deep squat. My knees hurt. I lose my balance. I can't even get down that far. And you're absolutely right to think that. Most people over 60 can't simply drop into a full deep squat on day 1, and they shouldn't. But here's the good news. There is a progression. There is a modified version that practically anyone can do, no matter what their current level of mobility or strength is. And when done correctly, even the modified version begins rewiring those neural connections immediately.
In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. I'll give you 3 different levels, from beginner to advanced. I'll show you the common mistakes that can hurt you instead of helping you, and I'll give you the exact protocol, how long to do it, how often, and how to progress safely. But before we get there, you need to understand something critical. This isn't just another exercise tip. This is about reconnecting your body to a movement pattern it was designed to perform. It's about reversing decades of bad adaptation to a sitting lifestyle. It's about regaining the stability and confidence you thought you had lost forever. And the best part? Once these neural connections are reactivated, they tend to stay. It's like riding a bicycle. Your body remembers, your nerves remember. And the more you practice, the stronger and more automatic it becomes. So now you know the truth. Your legs aren't getting weak because you're aging. They're getting weak because you lost touch with ancestral movement patterns that keep neural and muscular connections strong. And now you're about to learn how to get that back. Now let's get to what really matters. How do you do this? How do you reactivate these neural connections and wake up these sleeping muscles safely, no matter what your current mobility level is? First, let me make something very clear. You're not going to descend into a full deep squat on your first day. And that's okay. In fact, that's exactly how it should be. We're going to build this progressively, allowing your body to adapt safely at each step of the way. I'm going to show you 3 levels. Level 1 for absolute beginners, people with significant difficulty with balance or mobility. Level 2 for people with moderate mobility. And Level 3, the complete ancestral squat for when you're ready. Let's start with Level 1, the assisted squat with support. Here's how you do it. You're going to need a sturdy chair or a kitchen counter. Stand facing the chair or counter about 30 centimeters away. Your feet should be shoulder-width apart, toes slightly pointed outward about 15 to 30 degrees. Now, hold the support with both hands. Keep your back straight, chest up. Slowly begin to bend your knees and hips as if you were going to sit in an invisible chair. But here's the critical part. You want to descend as far as you can comfortably while keeping your heels completely on the floor. This is the golden rule. Heels on the floor. If your heels start to lift, you've gone too far. Stop where your heels still touch the floor comfortably. For some people, this might be just a few centimeters. For others, it might be deeper. It doesn't matter where you are now. What matters is that you're starting. When you reach your lowest comfortable point, stop. Breathe. Feel your muscles working. Feel the stretch in the back of your legs. Feel your glutes engaging. Even in this modified position, you're beginning to reactivate these neural connections. Hold this position for 10 to 15 seconds. Then using your hands to help, slowly return upward. That's 1 repetition. Rest for 30 seconds and do it again. Your goal is to do this 3 to 5 times twice a day. Morning and night work perfectly. Now here's what you need to know about Level 1. In the first few days, you might only descend a few centimeters. This is completely normal. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're rewiring neural circuits. You're waking up muscles that have been sleeping. Every few days, try to descend a little bit deeper, always keeping your heels on the floor. After 1 or 2 weeks at Level 1, you'll notice something interesting. You'll start to feel more stability. Your legs will shake less. You'll feel more confident in the position. This is your signal to progress to Level 2, the light touch squat. Level 2 is similar to Level 1, but now you're using the support only for light balance, not for significant weight support. You're letting your legs do most of the work. Same setup. Chair or counter in front of you, feet shoulder-width apart, toes slightly pointed outward. But this time, instead of holding firmly, you're only going to lightly touch the support with your fingertips. Descend slowly, always keeping your heels on the floor. Your goal now is to descend a bit deeper than you could at Level 1. Ideally, you want your hips lowering until they're at approximately knee height, or as close as you can get comfortably. Hold for 15 to 20 seconds. Breathe deeply. Feel every muscle in your legs working. Feel the stretch. Feel the activation. Then rise slowly, using only a light touch on the support if necessary. At Level 2, you'll do 3 to 5 repetitions twice a day. But here's a powerful thing to add. Once a day, in one of your sessions, try to hold the position for a bit longer. Work gradually up to 30 to 45 seconds in a held position. This extended time is where the magic really happens for neural reconnection. You'll spend 1 to 3 weeks at Level 2, depending on how your body responds. And you'll know you're ready for Level 3 when you can do this. Descend into a light touch squat. Hold for 30 seconds comfortably and rise back up without pulling on the support. When you can do that, you're ready for level 3, the complete ancestral squat. This is the same squat your ancestors did, the same one babies do naturally, the same one people in Okinawa and in traditional villages around the world still do daily.
Here's how to do it. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, or even a bit wider if that's more comfortable. Toes pointed outward at about 30 degrees. You can keep your hands together in front of your chest for balance, or let them hang naturally. Slowly begin to descend, bending knees and hips simultaneously. Let your knees move outward over your toes. Continue descending until your buttocks are close to your heels, or as low as you can go comfortably. Heels remain planted on the floor, always. In this position, your thighs should be pressing slightly against your calves. Your weight should be distributed through your entire foot, not just on your toes or just on your heels. Your chest should be up, back relatively straight. This is the ancestral resting position, and here's what's amazing about it. Once you're in this position, it's actually relaxing. Your ancestors rested like this. Children do this naturally and can play in this position for hours. Your goal at level 3 is to work up to holding this position for 2 continuous minutes. You won't get there immediately. Start with 20 to 30 seconds. Rest, repeat. Gradually increase the time over weeks. Now let me talk about some common mistakes people make, because these can hurt you instead of help you. Mistake number 1, lifting your heels. If your heels lift off the floor, you're putting tremendous pressure on your knees and you're not activating the right muscles. If your heels want to lift, don't go so deep. Keep your heels down and gradually work on going deeper over time. Mistake number 2, allowing your knees to fall inward. Your knees should move outward, aligned with your toes. If they fall inward, you're creating dangerous tension. Consciously push your knees outward as you squat. Mistake number 3, rounding your back excessively. A little forward curve is natural, and that's okay, but you don't want to collapse forward. Keep your chest up, shoulders back. Imagine a string pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. Mistake number 4, rushing the movement. This isn't about speed. This is about control and connection. Descend slowly. Rise slowly. Focus on feeling each muscle working. This is your time to reconnect mind and body. Now, how long does this take to work? Based on multiple studies and thousands of people who've tried this, here's the typical timeline. Week 1, you'll feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little silly doing this. Your muscles might be sore. This is normal. You're waking up tissues that have been sleeping. Week 2 to 3, you'll start to notice you can descend a bit deeper. The position starts to feel less strange. You might notice you feel a bit more stable when walking. Weeks 4 to 6, this is where most people have their wow moment. Suddenly, you realize you're no longer holding on to furniture when moving through the house. You climb stairs and realize you're not thinking about each step with fear. You stand in line at the grocery store and your legs aren't tired. Week 8 to 12, complete transformation. People who've done this consistently for 2 to 3 months report feeling 10, 15, sometimes 20 years younger in terms of leg stability. They're doing activities they had stopped doing: walks, gardening, playing with grandchildren. But here's the most important thing. You have to do this consistently. Twice a day, every day, for at least 21 days before judging if it's working. Your brain needs this time to rebuild these neural pathways. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth once and expect them to stay clean forever. You do it every day. This is the same. You're doing daily neural maintenance. And here's a powerful tip to make this a habit. Tie it to something you already do. Do your first session right after brushing your teeth in the morning. Do your second session right before brushing your teeth at night. When you tie a new habit to an existing habit, it sticks much more easily. One last thing about practice. You might be wondering, what about other forms of exercise? Should I stop doing what I'm already doing? Absolutely not. If you're doing walks, swimming, tai chi, yoga, whatever it is, continue. This ancestral squat position doesn't replace other forms of movement. It complements them. It creates the foundation of neural stability that makes all other forms of movement safer and more effective. So now you have everything. You know the why, you know the how, you know the timeline, you have the 3 progressions, you know the common mistakes to avoid, and you know how to turn this into a daily habit. Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling your legs steady when you get out of bed, without that hesitation, without that fear that your legs might fail. Imagine walking to the kitchen without touching the walls, climbing stairs without gripping the handrail tightly, standing in line at the grocery store and your legs aren't tired. This isn't fantasy. This is what thousands of people over 60 are experiencing after reconnecting with this simple ancestral position. Maria, 67 years old, wrote to me 3 months ago. She said, "I had stopped visiting my sister because she lives on a second floor without an elevator. The stairs terrified me. After 6 weeks doing this position every day, I climbed those stairs without stopping once. I cried with joy at the top." Roberto, 72 years old, shared, "I had given up gardening, which was my passion. Staying squatted down planting flowers was impossible. Now I spend hours in my garden. My granddaughters say Grandpa is back." Anna, 69 years old, wrote, "I avoided walking with my husband because I was afraid of stumbling and falling. Now we walk together every morning. He says he got back the wife he married 40 years ago."
These aren't special cases. They're ordinary people like you who decided to do something different, who gave themselves a chance, who practiced this simple position for a few minutes, twice a day. And here's what they recovered. Not just leg strength. They recovered freedom. The freedom to go where they want without fear. The freedom to do what they love without hesitation. The freedom to live without constantly depending on others. They recovered confidence. That feeling of being in control of your own body again, of not having to plan every movement in advance, of being able to react quickly if something unexpected happens. They recovered joy. The joy of playing with grandchildren on the floor, of dancing at a family party, of accepting invitations for outings they would have refused before, out of fear. And perhaps most importantly, they recovered dignity. The dignity of taking care of themselves, of not having to ask for help with simple things, of maintaining their independence and autonomy. All of this is within your reach, not in months or years, but in weeks. 3 weeks of commitment to yourself can completely change how you move through the world. Imagine a month from now. You wake up, get out of bed easily. You walk to the kitchen to make coffee, walking with firm, confident steps. You decide to take that morning walk you've been avoiding. You leave the house without fear, without a cane, just you and your strong legs taking you wherever you want to go. You meet a friend on the street. She comments, "You're different. You're walking differently. What did you do?" And you smile because you know the secret, an ancestral secret that was waiting for you to rediscover. Imagine 3 months from now. You're doing things you had given up. Gardening, longer walks, trips that require walking, maybe even a light trail you thought was impossible. Your legs carry you safely, and you're living again, not just existing. Your children or grandchildren notice the difference. You look younger, they say, and you feel younger. Because when your legs are strong, when you can move with confidence, everything in life seems more possible. This is the transformation that awaits you. It's not about completely reversing time. It's about recovering what is rightfully yours. Strength, stability, independence, joy of movement. And it all starts with a decision. The decision not to accept weakness as inevitable. The decision to give your body what it needs to thrive. The decision to reconnect with ancestral movement patterns that are programmed into your DNA. So here's my invitation to you, not my request, but my invitation. Join Maria, Roberto, Anna, and thousands of others who made this decision. Give yourself the gift of 21 days. Just 3 weeks. If this video inspired you, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more science-based strategies that transform lives after 60. But more important than that, stand up right now. Find that chair. Make your first attempt. And then come back to the comments and write day 1, I'm starting my journey. I'll be here. This community will be here. And in 21 days, we want to celebrate your transformation with you. Your best days didn't stay in the past. They're waiting for you just ahead. All you need to do is take the first step. Or rather, the first squat.
If this video inspired you, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Stand up now, find that chair, make your first attempt, and come back to the comments writing, "Day 1, I started." In 21 days, we want to celebrate your transformation with you. Your best days are just ahead. Go start now.